Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you had a good Tuesday in the market. We're going to talk about the NFT conference going on, some technical analysis. We're going to look at some of the charts, go over the market, what option plays we have going on, what's going on with GameStop. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy Money sticks around. We have a Twitter you can follow us on at HappyMoneyYT, and we have a Discord as well. You're welcome to join in the description. Yeah, kicking it off with RC tweet. Was that last night? No, that was yesterday. Yeah, that was yesterday before market open. Lots of breaking down of this. 741 over here. The whole 741 thing. I'm not gonna go on that. The little animal up here, whatever, was maybe placed. I actually put a post on Superstock because figured out where this GameStop was. If you live in Miami, you can go and ask the employees. I would just be curious if he moved anything around. That's all I would ask. Did he move anything around when you're on shift? If so, then yeah, I would start looking into that stuff. But if not, he's just outside his store thugging. That's what I got from it. TA, yeah, GameStop. We were kind of hyped a little bit from Charlie and his theory on today. I guess we still have an hour, but this is what I've been posting in the Discord. Ouch, Charlie bit me. If you don't know what that means you're pretty young. You don't recognize that video. That was, I believe, technically the first real viral video. Really interesting. You should watch it. It's hilarious. But yeah, TA wise, it's funny, even in his prediction video, it doesn't actually give predictions, and I got respect for Charlie, man. That dude does a lot. And that's why you don't do predictions. And I've made predictions that haven't worked out probably, but I try never give price targets, and I try never give, I guess, short term. I'm just hyped when I see it bullish, and when it's bearish, I'm just playing the downward. But like I was saying yesterday, it was good, but we never had that full daily MACD crossover. And if you look at this, charts don't typically V. I mean, we had some time here where it's a floor, where it's building this floor, and this is what we're excited about, that I've been talking about the last, that was like 4 or 5 days of just building this floor with these long dojis. Everything's flattening out, and then we actually had that divergence. So I'm like, okay, it's time for reversal. Or a floor. I mean, it's going to reverse basically the momentum, and it started to do that, and that started yesterday. I think a lot of that move was just that wasn't going to carry on basically, because we still have to kind of consolidate here and build the floor a little bit more, in my opinion. Like I said, typically it doesn't just do this and just come down and then V. Typically it'll come down, it'll bounce off of it, hit a resistance, make a new resistance, and then come back down and retest somewhere down here, preferably a higher low, but maybe even the same low, but probably a higher low. Then it'll swing back up, and it might retest that resistance, and it might stay just consolidating, or it might do it just once, where it comes down, kind of retest, and then the next time up it goes. We're looking for probably coming back down, because we're still bearish on the MACD. It'll take some time for this thing to kind of settle down and flip this thing bullish. And you say for trading, for short term, yeah, I mean, you don't have to use daily for weekly contracts, I guess. I mean, you could have seen this divergence here and said, go crazy, but you don't, I didn't know it was going to be a big price action. I just saw a divergence and I thought it was going to go up. And that's why I did the premium sell. And that's still working, actually. That's put credit spread. It's a bullish play, but you don't need any volatility for it. It can just go up slowly. Or basically you can just put a floor on it. So if you want to be real conservative, say it's not going to go below this resistance. But yeah, at any rate, I got caught up in it a little bit yesterday. Didn't follow the TA. I went over all the psychology of kind of exiting and entering positions yesterday. You can watch that video if you'd like. I won't go over that again, but basically today kind of confirms that that we need the bullish on the daily. So that's what I was saying here. You can trade it on the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and that's all gravy. To me, if you don't back it out enough, it's going to be such quick moves. It's not going to mean a whole lot, because those shorter terms, I mean, you go all the way down to the 1 minute, like, okay, it's bearish here, and then move it up to the 5 minute, okay, it's still bullish, and then 10 minute, it's bullish, 30 minutes bearish, you know what I mean? So it's like, you have to see it on a little bit higher frame, because as you move up in your time frame, there's going to be other resistances that it's going to be hitting, right? So on the hourly, it's bearish, but I would expect it probably to grind back up here kind of toward VWAP and this 9 moving average. On the daily, it's bearish, but it's showing signs that it's reversing, and this one's a long enough time frame to where if it's bullish on this, then these shorter time frames basically, for me, hold more weight. It's not just going to be a little move and hit some resistance, and then I zoom out, I'm like, oh yeah, of course it's going to keep coming down because of this, or this resistance or whatever. So anyways, yeah, on the hourly, we are still bearish, but none of that changes what happened back here, and I think this is still good. This floor building, and even yesterday, this is a good green candle, almost opened over the 9, but it is a big green candle over the 9 moving average, more or less, on good volume as well. Has a long candle up there, a long wick, which isn't great, but it's okay. Today really just consolidation from that. As hype as you want to be about it, that's what I see, and I think we still need to consolidate some. I think by maybe tomorrow, but probably hopefully by the end of the week, we will have a bullish crossover on the daily, and with that, you're gonna have, might even come down a little bit more, kind of retest, maybe 170, 167, maybe down here, 167-ish, and then it'll kind of swing back up. And when it swings back up, by that time, this thing will be tightening up, this MACD and signal, and it'll be moving up and hopefully crossed over. So once it's crossed over, then I can start looking at the shorter terms, like the hourlies, and I can see, okay, then I'll say, look, we've got green here, we've got green over the 9, or right here, then I'd go with it. But if it's bullish on the daily when it's happening on the shorter term, like the hourly, then to me it has a lot more headroom and a lot more room to go. So I'll give you an example back here. So right here is coming down to Tuesday was hype for whatever reason, and but we hadn't really made a resistance and retested a support. It was more just a V, like we're setting up this floor, but it's not just going to rebound off the floor. It'll go up and then it'll correct, and it has to swing this whole thing. It has to swing all the momentum on this. All this downward momentum has to settle down and flip back around. You have to imagine a big ship like turning around. If it's going this direction for a long time, for it to totally turn around and go the other way, it's going to take time. So back on the daily though, if you look back here, kind of as an example, we had the same deal. So it's coming down so far, and then it's too far, and that's where the RSI comes into play. So it's pretty low on the RSI. It wants to grind back up, get closer, and this one even had kind of a little false breakout here. It's like, oh yay, but what happened, it was just setting a resistance, a ceiling, and then it's kind of staying up below that, even though we had a bullish MACD there. It was a false breakout, and then when it came back down here, if it stopped here and tested that and then came back up, then we're in that channel and we're in that kind of consolidation range. It didn't, it came down further, and that was signified by bearish MACD and making new lows. So it made new lows and then came down here, and once it came down here, it bounced and then made bullish, and it was even green over the 9, but it didn't just rock it. See what happened? It went down and wanted to retest it again, and that was this one right here. Not fully, but went down to 150, kind of found a new retest. But look, the MACD was bullish the whole time, even with a pretty big price action to the downside. So it was retesting, but the momentum was going up. And then we have our confirmation, green over the 9, MACD still bullish, and then it rallied. So it can test it over and over. It can just stay consolidated, but GME typically hasn't moved in the last year. It hasn't slowly moved up. It's always been violent. If it's bullish MACD and everything else is set up, it's almost always been a violent move to the upside. So that's why I'm kind of waiting on this. I liked yesterday. I did get burned on it just because I'm an idiot, but I'm not so much of an idiot that I burned my whole account. most of my money is just in shares, so those I haven't risked at all. Options I play a very small amount, unless if I'm selling premium, then I'll use more because that's actually safer than shares selling puts. We're not gonna get into that though. Same with back here. So came down way too far, way overextended, and rallied. Huge rally, but look, MACD is still bearish, so it hit this ceiling. So if you're playing on the hourly, this would have been great, but it wasn't gonna have momentum to really get it going up because the larger time frame stayed bearish, so that kept it down. So it didn't break out new highs there. Came down, MACD stayed bearish, consolidation. Kind of retested it, but not really, just kind of found a floor. Came up, tested, well, came up here first for a little ceiling, tested this support, higher resistance here, but didn't break out to new highs. Came back down and then retested this lower support down here, and then came up here, retested it again, consolidated at a higher level, and then this was the candle right here. This is the confirmation. Everything been bullish on the MACD since back here. This one though broke out of the resistance that had been set. Or this was like a month, 2 months. So I mean, it can consolidate for a while, but it's, yeah, we're waiting for everything to line up. At least I am. And I want it on the daily because I want full momentum. I don't want to be capped on the swings. I'm not trying to get small swings. I'm trying to get big moves on this. That's why back here was such an anomaly for me, just the way I trade. So I think this is very unusual. So that's why I'm not like building a strategy based around this. But this was big dojis, tight consolidation, and then just a huge spike. Everything's bearish, just volume and just green. And then the next day, it's because the momentum wasn't there. The next day it had all that steam, but it had to cool it off and slow it down. And then, yeah, and then it's flipped over. The momentum of the moving average convergence divergence then was starting this grind up, and then this was all gravy. It's bullish. However, the premiums at that point were jacked, so you'd have to do spreads or whatever. But yeah, and then we have it breaking out above that, and then it had that nice huge rip up, and then we see this huge double doji, just sign of a reversal. And I mean, to time the top here, I guess you'd have just probably somewhere around here. For options, you can't really wait. Yeah, there's not a divergence really either, is there? No. So anyways, what I'm looking at now, I think for GameStop, I guess would be probably a few more days, and hopefully this MACD flips bullish. But until then, I expect tight consolidation, low volume, and maybe retesting kind of the 170, maybe 168. We do have a gap to fill also, 172.96. That gap from that big day that shot up, it actually gapped up in the morning and never filled it. So 172.96, I thought we might fill it today, but doesn't look like it. I think probably tomorrow we'll fill that gap. Yeah, because there's still plenty of room for this thing to go on the hourly. It's still very bearish, so I think that'll keep coming down. But what we're looking for is it to find a support and then rally, and that support wants to be higher than these other supports. And then by that point, this will probably flip. That all being said, I mean, these two consolidation days, like technically, yeah, it could rally tomorrow, just like it did crazy stuff back here. But if it's going to be more traditional, more like something like this, or even one like this, it's going to be, we're going to see it in the technical analysis. This one was pretty much a surprise. I mean, during the day you could have caught it because you said there's a ton of volume, we're breaking out, and then you could have gone into it, but you wouldn't have seen it coming. Even back here in January, like that all fell into normal technical analysis. You know, we have everything. So yeah, let's go over the options. SPY on the other hand, so this one's kind of giving me false signals. We've got 3 green on the histogram on the MACD, which is bullish, but then we've got these red candles over it. I think we're still in a bearish trend. We've got lower highs, lower lows, and I have a call credit spread on it that's bearish. And if it drops with velocity, I won't be able to make as much as if I just had naked long puts, but that's okay. That's how I save my account from being blown up. Shout out to Thayank. We'll go over that really quick in our Discord. He's the digger of all digs. He found, we were talking about that NFT thing, and on their website they're actually streaming. I think it's just an online event because they're streaming it right on their website. It says Florida, but I don't see like anywhere to go. So yeah, anyway, so it's streaming here all the time for the next 3 days. And then they did some digging and found on day 3 there's a secret network NFTs. It doesn't say the speakers, so that's October 14th. If you like dates, there's October 14th. There's hype. I don't know why it's in the middle of the night. Maybe that's part of the mystery of it. Like, we're gonna announce something and no one's gonna be watching. And then the legal impact of NFTs, which is also maybe relevant, on October 14th. I don't know how my hopes are for these things at all. It's just kind of cool to see and think, just maybe. I mean, GameStop's not on any agenda there. There's no signs that it'll have anything to do with GameStop. Ryan Cohen did tweet from Florida, but again, I think the conference, I don't think there's anything in person. I think it's all just digital. So that being said, options today, oh, not too bad. I closed out of my any. I had to put credit spread on any, which I didn't want to hold it. Yesterday messed with me a little bit. It was a bad day for me as far as emotionally and confidence wise. When you just don't trade it right, it just kind of hurts your confidence. So yeah, then I gotta kind of start slower and kind of build back up confidence, I guess, a little bit. It's not bad, but basically I was up 30 or something % on this, and it closed on Friday, and I was like, it's got to be above $7. Like, I don't need to mess with it anymore. So closed out of that one. Orf, I did buy some calls on Orf. Donero, called this one out. We've traded this one before, mentioned in the Discord a few times. This one was crazy, but the chart actually looks really nice. So on the hourly, we have a nice divergence here from here to here, and then we've got new highs it's making. Broke out of that resistance. I mean, nice pendant bull flag thing. So this one's looking really good. I wouldn't be surprised if Orf had quite a rally. Only issue though, and this could change, we've got 50 minutes to close. We even have increasing volume here, which is great. But yeah, you can see the RSI divergence here on the daily too. So here and here, it's so clear. I mean, it's not a huge divergence, but yeah, this is lower than this, and then this is lower than this. So increasing lows and decreasing lows. That being said, this was a bullish MACD crossover earlier today. Looks like it's kind of come down a little bit. I kind of think that this will rally, so that will turn back into a bullish crossover on the MACD and by close, because this is bullish on the 5 minute. Got green over the 9. I think we're going to see it kind of rip back up, probably close to VWAP. If you're watching the premiere and the market's closed, check it and see if I'm right, because I think on the daily this thing might just flip green. Anyways, this one has had crazy price action. If you've seen it or traded it, I think it's like a biotech company. I don't know, but at one point, pretty recently, 610, it went to $77. So biotech companies move dramatically from FDA approvals and failed tests and stuff. So it was at $4 and shot up to $77 in basically one day. And it's had these little pumps here and there. This is probably a heavily shorted stock, but yeah. Anyways, so we'll see what happens. I mean, the volume here was crazy. 45 million, 84 million. So the volume today is nothing compared to that, but this could be the very beginning of the rally. You see, let's see back here. Didn't show any divergences. It really just happened on that one day. But that's what we have to do as traders. Let's see back here if it did it. Yeah, we had a bullish MACD and probably some divergences in there. But that's Orf. I would have gotten shares. It's cheap enough, but I just got some calls on it. November, what did I get? $5 calls, just 5 of them. GameStop, I did some short calls on it basically today, and it worked out all right. I missed a lot of the move again because I'm just from yesterday. I'm kind of trying not to be greedy and jumping in and out too much. And anyways, the best would have been this morning. I got hyped and I was like, all right, we're gonna rally today. And I got some debit spreads, not too much. It was actually on this account. They are 200, 205 call debit spreads for Friday. Didn't spend too much on them. This week could still rally. I don't think it'll be until, if it does, it'll probably be later in the week. Well, I guess, yeah, it's Tuesday, so it'll probably be later in the week, maybe Thursday, maybe Friday. But I just want it to be set up for, I guess, at least next week and holding that low that we have. But anyways, yeah, got some debit spreads here. Should have opened up short calls, basically sold calls here on this candle. I didn't want to believe it. I don't know. I wanted to still think it's good, but even today, I mean, the MACD was bearish on the hourly, so I should have done it sooner, but I didn't. I waited. It came down here, and by this time I was like, I'll just wait because it's probably gonna find a floor soon. So I did. It kept coming down, and then it bounced, and then here's where I actually set up some short calls. Was it here? No. Yeah, it was like here. So I was actually even a little early on that. It's probably being greedy again because the MACD was still bullish. I think I just saw it being weak and not making new highs. So caught this leg down, closed out of them right here. I don't want to hold them over the night or overnight, but that's on E-Trade. So basically, I have 800 shares on here, so I can open up, I can short 800 calls, or sorry, 8 calls, and then I also have, what I did was I have these 210 calls for next week. So I actually did like the same poor man's covered call thing for these also. So you basically just have to short a higher strike than the calls that you have, so that if you get in trouble and it goes past that, you can close them all out, and you don't have this short position, this exposed short position. But yeah, so I have 15 of those 210s for next week that of course got obliterated just on that first day. And today though, I was able to open up 15 to 12 and a half short calls for this week, so that helped. Yeah, it grinded down. Can't really show the performance of it. I have to pull out a calculator and do math and stuff, but yeah, it worked out well. And then I also was able to do the 8. I did 8, I think 185 covered calls for my shares, and caught some of them move down. Paid myself back a little bit, and then on this account, I'm kind of doing just the premium sell type thing. So kind of theta gang, maybe theta farm in this one, minus this shot play. But basically selling premium is what I'm going to try and do. So on here I have 125 GME shares, and I'm not going to close these covered calls. I'm going to leave these open. So if GME rallies, I'll roll it up, I'll do whatever. And I also have the leap in here. So I have 120 call for 2 Januaries from now, 465 days, and then I have 125 shares, so I'm able to sell 2 calls, 185 strike for Friday. Premium I received for that was 328. Could have been a lot more, or sorry, 378. Could have been more. I took too long maybe to sell them. I mean, the best day to sell them would have been yesterday at the peak, of course. These probably would have been like $1,200 in premium. And these, depending on where we are on Friday, I'll either roll them or close them if I don't want the exposure over the weekend. And here's that leap. Here's that leap, so you can kind of see what a in the money, like year and a half out expiration leap does. It was up 10% yesterday when GME was up like 8%. Today it's up just 3%. Or no, that's P&L open. I guess today it's down 4% today, but it's still up 3% from when I bought it. So it basically moves with the stock more or less. Holy crap, is a long video. Thanks so much for watching. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy money sticks around. Peace out.